Hello, welcome to the lecture on engineering drawing. Today's topic is dimensioning. What is the dimension? It is some numerical value given to some of the length or circle or arc. The Bureau of Indian Standard have defined dimensioning as a numerical value expressed in appropriate units of measurement and indicated graphically on technical drawings with lines, symbols and notes. The various terms used in dimensioning are dimension. Dimension is this numerical value which is assigned to the shape, size or location of the feature being described. It tells about the dimension of the particular outline. Dimension line. Dimension line is a line which is a thin line and is terminated by arrowheads. It should be perpendicular to the extension line. Extension line. Extension line is the outline or center line of an object. These are the arrowheads. We'll see in detail what arrowheads are and what should be the size of arrowhead. As of now, here this is the dimension 50. This horizontal line which is parallel to the outline is dimension line, and this line vertical line and this vertical line is extension line. Arrowhead. It is placed at each end of dimension line. Its pointed end should touch the extension line. It should be closed and filled. You can see here open, this is closed but not filled, this is closed and filled but this is partially cut from here. So the arrow should be correctly drawn like this. Length of arrow should be about 3 times its width. Suppose this is the length of the arrowhead, then it should be 3 times the width. The size of all arrowheads in the entire view should be same. There are two systems of dimensioning: aligned system and unidirectional system. In aligned system, all the dimensions are aligned with the entity being measured. As you can see here, this entity is to be measured, or this is the outline and this is the dimension line and this is the dimension. This is the outline, this is the dimension line, this is the dimension. They are placed perpendicular to the dimension line such that they may be read from the bottom or right hand side of the drawing. Dimensions are placed at the middle and on top of the dimension lines. You can see here this dimension is placed above this dimension line, this dimension is also placed above this dimension line. Considering the vertical line, then the dimension should be placed on the or above the vertical line. So here you can see it should be read from the right hand side of the drawing. This is the aligned system of dimensioning. The second system of dimensioning is unilateral system. In the unilateral system, dimensions are placed in such a way that they can be read from the bottom edge of the drawing sheet. All the dimensions here will be placed such that they can be read from the bottom edge, like this 25, this 50, which were written like this in aligned system, are written in this way. Dimensions are inserted by breaking the dimension lines at the middle in this way. We follow three methods of dimensioning: parallel dimensioning, chain dimensioning and combined dimensioning. In parallel or progressive dimensioning, all the dimensions are shown from a common reference line. Suppose this is the reference line which is considered here, so all the outlines are dimensioned with respect to this line. All these dimensions share a common extension line. It's a common extension line, one extension line, and another extension line will be as per the dimension. So this 12, 20, 35, 43, 55 are all dimensions which are with reference to this line. Chain dimensioning. In chain dimensioning, all the dimensions are aligned such that the arrowhead of one dimension touches tip to tip the arrowhead of adjacent dimension, like this. In the third method of dimensioning, we follow both progressive dimensioning as well as chain dimensioning. Here, as per the requirement, we will either use progressive dimensioning or chain dimensioning. As you can see here, for this dimension 20, this dimension 20 and this dimension 20, chain method of dimensioning is followed, whereas for this 8 and for this 8, progressive method is followed. There are certain guidelines for dimensioning. The first guideline is dimension line is a thin line. It should not be as thick as the outline, otherwise there will be difficulty in understanding whether it is outline or it is a dimension line. Second, after dimensioning of views, there should be no need to calculate or assume any dimension. It means all the dimensions should be properly given in the or incorporated in the dimension views. A dimension should be given to such an entity that the best feature is dimension. Like if you see here, this 10 is given here, but this is the bigger dimension, this is a smaller dimension which should be shown close to the view. This dimension 10, instead of dimensioning it here, it looks best here because it should not be given inside the view, it should be given outside the view. The next guideline is dimension line should always be parallel to the outline. This is to be dimensioned. Like you can see here, this dimension line is parallel to the outline. This dimension line is parallel to the outline, whereas if you read this 50, this is not actually 50, this is more than 50. The next guideline is dimension line should always be drawn at least 10 mm away from the outline and from each other. This is no fixed rule that it should be at least 10 mm away, but according to me it should be at least 10 mm away from the outline. Dimensions should not be repeated. For example, this dimension 15, if you see here, the same dimension is given again. This 15 and 15, same dimension is given again. So even if it is given at one place, it can be understood that this is 15, as it is correctly shown in this second view. The next rule is dimension line should be perpendicular to the extension line. This is also seen in earlier view. This dimension line should be perpendicular, it should not be inclined. So it should be perpendicular to the extension line, as you can see here and here. Other guideline is extension lines are thin lines and should extend beyond the dimension lines. Here you can see the extension line is terminated at the dimension line. It should not be the case, it should extend beyond the dimension line. And again, there is no fixed rule for what length it should extend, but generally it should extend about 3 mm beyond the dimension line. Extension lines may cross each other or outline of the object, but dimension lines should not cross each other or any other line in the view. The outline of the view should not be used for dimensioning. Like you can see here, this is the outline of the part. The same thing is used as dimension line, use an extension line for giving dimension. That should not happen. Draw extension line and then use it as a guideline for giving the dimension. The next rule is only extension lines should be used for dimensioning. The same thing about center line, that is here the center line is used for dimensioning. Instead of giving dimension in this way, it is better if we give it in this way. So avoid center lines. If it is not possible, then we need to use center line. Like in this case, the center line is used for dimensioning, but here also this center line, as you can see, 15 and 15, 30, instead of this 30 is the distance between these two centers. So these two lines should be used, and that too with proper extension line can be used for dimensioning. Again, dimensions should be given with reference to the thick line or the construction outline of the part. A dotted line should not be used for giving dimension. Instead, it can be dimensioned like this. As far as possible, dimension should not be given inside the view. In some cases, if it is not possible, then we need to give it inside the view. Another rule is smaller dimensions should be placed near the view and larger dimensions should be placed away from the view, so that there will not be crossing of the extension lines and dimension line. As you can see here, this is a smaller dimension 15, this is a larger dimension 25, so 15 should come ahead of 25 that is 15 should be closer to the view as compared to 25. Same is with this dimension and these dimensions. Then dimension of circular part or arc should be preferably given in the view where it is seen as a circle or an arc. It should not be given in the other two views. If possible, then it should be possibly given in the view where circle is seen. A leader line should be used for giving dimension to circles or for introducing a note. What is a leader line? A leader line is an inclined line that is followed by a short horizontal line. Inclined line, the angle of inclination should be 45 degree, 30 degree or 60 degree. Generally it should be 45 degree. 40 space is not available, then use 30 degree or 60 degree to give a leader line. The dimension should be written above the horizontal line and never should be written below the horizontal line. For vertical lines, it should be written to the left of the vertical line and should be readable from the right hand side of the drawing. All the dimensions on drawing must be shown using either aligned system or unilateral system. The two systems should not be mixed on the same drawing. The units should not be written after each dimension, or the note should be written at the bottom where all dimensions in mm or units should be mentioned. Thank you.